Welcome to this new video. This video will show you how to review and update a weld. This might be useful if a weld needs a remedy or if you have to finish a previous work. You will see in this video how to open an existing weld, how to update a weld, and finally, how to scrap a weld. First of all, which weld can you review? Basically, you can review any weld that has been casted by your organization. Indeed, for obvious confidentiality concerns, you cannot look at the weld casted by welders from another company. Then, next question, which weld can you edit? Well, editing depends on the status of the weld. Let's have a closer look. When you cast a weld with PANDROL CONNECT, it will follow a flowchart. First it is welded, then grinded, then you transmit it to your supervisor so he can review it. Depending on the inspection result, the weld can either be rejected, accepted, or be in remedial status. In this case, a welder has to go to fix it. So as a welder, you can edit the welds in the following status: welded, grinded and remedial. The other welds can be reviewed, but you will not have the authorization for modification. Now let's see how does it work. To open an existing welds, you have two possibilities. The easiest one is to open it from the recent weld list. It is possible if you have casted the weld by yourself not long ago. Else, you will have to type in the number of the weld and press the arrow to download the data. The number of the weld should have been written or stamped on the weld itself. Depending on the previous status of the weld, it will display different pages at first, but you can navigate in the weld by swiping the screen. If you input a wrong number, or if the weld does not belong to your company, the app will display an error message. In this case, make sure you have input the correct number. When the weld opens, you will see if it can be edited. Basically, if the weld has gray text box everywhere like on the left video, it means it is locked. If you have white text box like on the right video, it means you can edit it. Here a few information about updating a weld. First, to edit a weld, you just need to input your data and transmit the weld, just like when you cast a weld. Then, you will see that certain parameters cannot be edited even if the weld can be updated. That is because they are relevant only if recorded during the welding. For example, the batch numbers or the temperatures. Last remark. If you have not casted the weld yourself, the visual inspection page will be locked. This is to prevent welders to erase first weld inspection report. If you want to specify something, you can use the comment box on the finish grinding page. The last function introduced in this video is scraping a weld. One of the problems of railway networks is that they know when and where a weld is casted, but they do not know when a weld is removed from the track. So at the end, they cannot say where and how many welds are on the network. The scrap function has been designed to solve this issue. To scrap a weld, proceed just like when you want to review a weld, but select the scrap button. Just note that the weld number is kept in memory. You won't be able to use it for another weld. The app allows you to choose 4 reasons for scrapping a weld. The first reason is delete input. It has to be used when you did a mistake and recorded a false weld. Note that if you have not reached the visual inspection page, your weld is not uploaded and therefore do not need to be deleted. The second choice is cut, off location or temporary. This has to be used when the weld itself was conform, but had to be removed for another purpose. For example, off-location issue or because a rail section or turnout is being replaced. The third choice is not conform. You can use it if you scrap a weld which failed the internal or external inspection. And finally, the fourth and last choice is broken weld. This has to be used when a weld failed after being inspected. It could be, for example, a weld which broke or a weld with developed fatigue failure issues and had to be removed as a preventive measure. Now you know how to update a weld. You can proceed to the fourth video about operation optimization to keep going on your training. Thank you again for watching, and do not hesitate to email us if you have any question or remarks at pandrolconnect@pandrol.com.